Could a penguin ride a bike? And other questions. A penguin is a bird that can swim but cannot fly. King penguins live on islands near the South Pole. It's freezing cold and bitter winds blow hard across the snow. Imagine if a king penguin came to stay. What would he do? Could a penguin play football? He might think the ball is an egg. He would hide it underneath his fluffy tummy feathers to keep it warm. A king penguin carries his egg on his feet to keep it off the ground. Mums and dads take turns looking after the egg for 2 months until it hatches. A baby penguin is called a chick. What if a penguin went to the swimming pool? Penguins love to swim, so he would dive right in. He would use his wings like flippers to fly through the water. Penguins are champion swimmers. They can swim 4 times faster than the fastest human swimmers. Penguins can stay underwater for 5 minutes at a time. What if a baby penguin came for dinner? He might try to eat everything. An adult penguin eats about 50 fish a day, but a chick needs to eat about 200. That's because chicks grow a thick layer of fat to keep them warm in the icy weather. What if a penguin went bowling? He wouldn't be able to throw a ball. He doesn't have fingers or hands. He has wings instead. Who needs a ball anyway? Penguins love to slide on their tummies along the ice. It's called tobogganing. Whoosh! It's so much quicker than waddling. Could a penguin ride a bike? A penguin would fall off a bike. His legs are too short to reach the pedals, but he would be zoom-tastic on a scooter. He could also do cool tricks on a skateboard. Penguins have wide webbed feet. They're great at balancing because they live on slippery rocks and ice. What if a penguin went on a picnic? He wouldn't need to pack a picnic basket. At lunchtime, he would sick up stinky fish from his tummy and share them with everyone. Yum. Penguins' parents swallow fish at the sea and then sick them up to feed their chicks. Could a penguin join a choir? He would sound terrible. Some birds sing beautifully, but not penguins. Penguins and chicks honk, squawk and whistle so that they can find each other. What if a penguin went to the supermarket? He would feel right at home in the cold aisle. A penguin's island home is even colder than the inside of a fridge. Penguins' bodies are covered in feathers which work like a thick blanket to keep them warm. When chicks get cold, they huddle together in big groups called creches. What if a penguin stayed the night? He wouldn't want to stay in the guest room. Penguins get too lonely by themselves. In some places, 1 million penguins live together in a big group called a colony. A penguin wouldn't need a bed or a sleeping bag. Penguins sleep standing up with their beaks tucked under their wings. More facts about penguins. King Penguin is pointing to the places where he lives. Can you see where you live? There are 17 different types of penguin. The largest ones are emperor penguins. King penguins are the second largest. Penguins have black and white waterproof feathers. Most penguins live in cold places, but some types live in places where the weather is warm, such as South Africa. Penguins eat fish, shellfish and squid. They swim fast to catch their food. While other birds have wings for flying, penguins have flippers to help them swim in the water. Greetings from Antarctica. I am back home now on my snow-covered island near the South Pole. It's lovely and cold and I can spend all day diving into the sea. I had yummy fish for breakfast, lunch and tea yesterday and it's great to be back with my family. See you soon. Love, King Penguin. Hi, So today's session is based on could a penguin ride a bike and other questions. If you haven't read it, don't know it, hop over to the video of me reading it and you can enjoy it there. It is not a story, it is non-fiction, but done in a really lovely informal way. Definitely worth a listen. Today we're going to use that penguin theme to write some expanded noun phrases, some statements in terms of the sentence, but some expanded noun phrases all about my little collection of penguins that I have. So all you need to join in today is something to write with and something to write on. If you don't have those things, pause the video, you can go and find them and you can come back and join us. There are 4 types of sentences. All sentences start with a capital letter, but they have slightly different final punctuation. Questions, use a question mark. Exclamations, use an exclamation mark. And then statements and commands, use a full stop. So today, the type of sentence that we will look at, they're statements, and so they will need a full stop at the end of them. But what we're going to try and do is to include some expanded noun phrases to make them better, to elevate them. Before we can do any of that, we need to know what a noun is and we need to know what an adjective is. A noun is a name. A noun is a name. So a noun is a thing. If I can touch it, I can feel it. It's a thing. My hair, my necklace, an anchor, my eyes, a pen, a penguin. Anything that we can see, touch, that we can see that is real is a noun, is a thing. Have a look around the room that you're in, around the area that you're in. If there's a window, have a look outside as well, because there's always loads of great nouns outside. And see if you can come up with 10 nouns that are near you. You can pause the video, go and have a look. Nouns. Nouns are names. Go. Do you have your 10? I do. Tree, fish, plants, TV, pen, penguins, books, table, rug, clock. 10 things, 10 nouns. There are almost certainly more, but those are 10. Do your 10 match up? Are they things? We're going to use adjectives to describe those nouns. Write down 5 of your nouns. I am going to write down clock, tree, rug, fish, and window. And now we want to use an adjective, a describing word that tells me something more. My clock is round, so I can use the word round before the clock. It's a round clock. It's a tree. It's a green tree. It's a big tree. I can use both of them. But if I want to use them both, I have to use another bit of punctuation in between. But let's have a look at what that punctuation is. If I want a green big tree, then I need a comma. So a comma is just like a little, almost like a little half smile. It's like a little line that comes on the line, so it comes at the bottom of our letters to split the 2 adjectives up. So if I'm using 2 before my noun, I use a comma. My rug is grey, so I could have a grey rug. It's also fluffy, so I could do the same thing again. I could have grey, comma, fluffy rug. The fish, they're small and they're bright. They're very brightly coloured. They're neon. So the small, bright fish, and then I can talk about them. For now, all we want is the adjectives before. So with your 5 that you picked, can you see if you can put 1 adjective before them? If you can put 2 before them, then remember you need a comma in between the 2 adjectives. Pause the video, have a go. We'll come back in a minute and I'll finish off my last couple. How did you get on? Did you manage to think of adjectives, of words that tell you more about it? An easy way to start is with the colour of something. Colours are adjectives. Or with the way that it feels, or the way that it moves, if it moves. So if it's a tail, it could be a swishy tail. So it could be a grey swishy tail, or it could be a brown fluffy tail. Colours are a great place to start, especially if you want to use an expanded noun phrase and you're looking at using 2 adjectives. Let's start with this penguin here. She's not very big. So the little, cute, absolutely. Right, capital letter for the beginning of our sentence. The little cute. Oh, if we're using 2 adjectives before our noun, we need absolutely spot on, we need a comma. So the little cute penguin, there's the start of my sentence. Look, the little cute penguin, there's my comma, and there's my capital letter. And now I can continue my sentence, my statement about my penguin. So the little cute penguin is wearing a giant green jumper, is wearing a giant green jumper. Giant and green are both telling me about that jumper. So they are adjectives. Jumper is the thing that I can touch. So I need a comma in between them. And because my sentence is a statement, I need a full stop at the end. There we go. Look, I wrote about my penguin. The little cute penguin is wearing a giant green jumper. I could add a bit more onto my sentence. I could get rid of my full stop and I could use the word and to join another sentence onto the end, another clause, because I could say, and the little cute penguin is wearing a giant green jumper and has a pink flower. Let's think of another adjective for that flower. And has a pink, beautiful, great word. And has a pink, beautiful flower. Because we got rid of the full stop after the word jumper, because we wanted to add the word and in, we have to remember to add it back in at the end of our sentence. Can you think of an expanded noun phrase that we could use to describe this little penguin? He's smart. You think he might be busy because he has his watch and his eyeglass on? Okay, let's use those words then. The smart, busy penguin is running late for work. Amazing. The smart, busy penguin is wearing a grey pinstriped suit. The smart little penguin is looking at his brown watch, his brown ticky watch, because he's running late. We can add all sorts into our sentences. Who can write an amazing sentence for this one? What adjectives can we use to describe him? He's clumsy, brave. Well, that's nice. The clumsy, brave penguin broke his flipper in an accident. We came up with some great ideas. I'd like you to have a go at writing your own sentences with expanded noun phrases in for this little penguin. Press pause and have a little go. For this guy. And for this guy. So many amazing sentences that we could write for them. If you haven't already, press pause, have a go at writing some expanded noun phrases, and then come back and we're going to correct some of my mistakes. We don't always get it spot on. The small, smart penguin is late for his busy, important job. I did a really good job with my finger spaces today, but that's about it. What's missing from my sentence? It needs to start with a capital letter, a capital T. Looks like that. The small, smart penguin. Oh, small and smart, but we didn't use and, so we need a comma. You're right. The small, smart penguin is late for his busy, important job. Oh, that job is busy and important, but we didn't use the word and, so we need a comma in between the two adjectives. And at the end of our statement, we need absolutely at the end of our statement, we need a full stop. And then the second one, the happy, fluffy penguin picks yummy orange carrots with his blue, sharp fork. It's got a question mark at the end. Is it a question? Definitely not. Let's get rid of that question mark and turn that into a full stop for a start. And then there's a full stop in the middle of these two adjectives here. What should go in the middle of two adjectives if we're using them before the noun? You're right. It should be a comma, not a full stop. And you're right. Happy and fluffy need a comma too. Are we perfect? No. It needs a capital letter too. You're absolutely right. There are things to remember. If we're trying to use expanded noun phrases in statements, we need to start with a capital letter. And if we're using two adjectives to describe the thing, we need to use a comma in between them. We still need to remember finger spaces, and we need a full stop at the end of that type of sentence because it is a statement, because I am telling you something. I think you've done an incredible job with statements and expanded noun phrases today. See if you can use them next time you write write something down, I bet you can use them when you're talking too. Think about how descriptive you can be about the things around you. Well done. Hi, today we are going to look at some problem solving, some odd and even numbers, some 2-digit numbers, and a little bit of doubling a bit later on. Before we start that, we should have a quick recap. We should do some counting and make sure that we know what odd numbers and even numbers are. So let's start by counting in twos. Let's start at 0 and we'll start in twos and we'll clap each time we do. You ready? Let's go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. Spot on, well done. All of those numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, are even because they end in even digits. So the even digits are 2, 4, 6, 8, and 0. If a number ends in any of those, they are even, regardless of how big that number might be. We could do counting in twos but starting at 1 and we would uncover all of the odd numbers. It's harder, but let's give it a go. Let's use our pointing fingers. Are you ready? 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, 27, 29. Great job. So an odd number ends in an odd digit. 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. Again, it doesn't matter how big that number is. If it ends in an odd digit, it's an odd number. Keep that in your head. We'll need that. Have a little look at my first problem. It says spot the difference. And there are two numbers. Now both have 3 and 5. But you're right, they don't. One says 35 because it's made up of 3 10s and 5 left over, 5 1s. And the other one is a 3 and a 5. So if we add them together, we get 8. So in terms of talking about a difference, we could say that the white number is a 2-digit number, that it has 10s and it has 1s. We could say that the blue digit number is a 1-digit number. It only has 1s. We could say that the white number is an odd number because it ends in a 5. Is the blue number an odd number or is it an even number? Yeah, absolutely. It's an even number. It's the number 8 because we added the 3 and the 5 together and we got 8. Let's move on. Have a good look. The question says, is it 34? So there are 4 different boxes. Is it 34? Now, if we're talking about 34, we can talk about 34 being an even number. We can use that to help us. Where should we start? Let's start with the white one. Is the white one 34? No, it's absolutely not. It does have 3 10s, so it is a 30 number, but the ones aren't 4. It has 5 1s, not 34. It's in fact 35. What about the blue one, the one with the footprints? We could count in twos for that because they're together in pairs. So in the top row, there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh, if there's 10 in each row, then there are 3 rows, there are 30. And how many are left down in the bottom corner? There are 4. So using our counting in twos and then our counting in 10s, we can deduce that the blue box is indeed 34. It has 3 rows of 10 and 4 extra ones. What about the purple box? Let's work our way round. The purple box is an even number. It has 4 1s. However, it has way too many 10s. How many 10s does it have? Absolutely, there are 6 10s rods. It has 6 10s and we only needed 3. It has double the amount of 10s that we needed, but it's not double our number because it only doubled the 10s and not the 1s. Okay, what about the green one then? Double 17. Or if I double 17, do I get to 34? How can I do that? Double the 1s, double the 10s, add them together. Okay, double the 1s then. Double 7 is 14. Double the 10s, double 10 is 20. 20 and 14 is absolutely 34. So double 17 is indeed 34. Great job. I wonder if you could pause the video and see if you could come up with another 2 ways that you could show the number 34. Did you manage to do it? Well done if you did. If not, you could always do it later. Okay, let's move on. Oh, it's a sorting the odd and even numbers this time. Now, when we're using Numicon, sorting the odd and even numbers is actually really easy because we can look for an even number is flat and an odd number has an extra bit. It has an odd bit, but an even number is totally flat. So if we let's start at the top. We have 10, which is even because it ends in a 0. We have 6, which is even, it's an even digit. We have 3, which is odd. 7, which is odd. 1, which is odd. 9, which is odd. 2, which is even. 5, which is odd. And 4, which is even. And there's 1 missing. What's missing? Each one should have 5. So have a quick look. Can you work out which one it is that's missing? To start with, is it an odd one or an even one? It's an even one. Which even one is missing? Try by counting in 2. So 2 is there. Is 4 there? It is. Is 6 there? It is. Is 8 there? No. And well done if you spotted it earlier that it was 8, but it was 8 that was missing. Okay, so we did a really quick sort the odd and even digits, and now quick fire, is it an odd or an even number? Okay, 672. Is it odd or even? Well done, it is an even number. 883, odd or even? You're right, it's an odd number. It ends in a 3. 1901, odd or even? You're right, the rest of it didn't matter. It was only the 1. It's an odd number. 2228 is an even number. It was that 8 that mattered. Well done. Oh, 9,832. Even. It's the 2 that matters. Well done. Cracking job. 877 is odd. Well done. 563 is odd. Well done. And one more. 891. Odd. It was the 1 that mattered. Well done. You're getting really good with your noticing your odd and even numbers. It can be a really tricky thing to do, so well done. I wonder what would happen if I added 2 odd numbers together. If I add 2 odd numbers together, will I always get an odd number? Or will I always get an even number? Or does it depend, is it not a hard and fast rule? Have a go at choosing some odd numbers and adding them together and seeing what you get. I'll meet you on the other side and we'll have a chat. So how did you get on? I can show you in a really simple way, just using small numbers. If I have my 5 and I have my 3 and I want to add them together, then I'm going to get 8. But the reason for that is that if I add my 3 on here, then the extra bits, the bits that stick out, the bits that make that number odd, are going to match up to form an even number. It's only ever the 1 extra one that makes it odd. And so if you've got 2 numbers that have that extra bit, it's going to be an even number. So for this one, my even number would be 8, but I could do it with any set of numbers. But if I have 2 odd numbers that I add together, I'll always end up with an even one. There you go. And then one last little bit of problem solving and reasoning, and this is all about doubles. On the screen, there is a picture and it has some tens frames that have bits filled in. And at the bottom it says, this is double 11. Am I right? Can you prove it? So I will give you 30 seconds to have a look. You shouldn't need to count the dots. You should be able to tell whether it is in fact double 11 relatively quickly. Okay, great job. Is it double 11? No, it's absolutely not. And there are lots of ways that we can prove that. So we just talked about the fact that when you add two odd numbers together, you will always end up with an even number. Well, doubling is adding the same on again, and 11 is odd. So the number we would end up with would be even. And the number we end up with has 2 10s and 3 1s is 23. So it's odd. So it can't be right because I know that when we add two odd numbers together, the answer we get is even. And that's not the case here. I can also prove it because I know that 11 is made up of 10 and one more. So I would need a full tens frame and just one more on the last one. So I would have 2 full tens frames and then 2 extra ones. And this one doesn't. It has 2 full tens frames and 3 more. So yes, I can prove it. And there are multiple different ways that I can prove it without counting them. I know that a full tens frame is 10. Let's look at one last one. So this one says, this is double 13. Am I right? Can you prove it? We'll do the same thing. Pause the video and then we'll have a chat. What did you think? Was it double 13? You are spot on. And we can prove it using all of the things that we have learned previously. We can check whether or not it's going to be an even number because we know that 13 is odd and double just means add the same on again. So we know it needs to be an even number, and it is absolutely because we've got 10 and 10, which makes 20, and there are 6 more. And I can tell that without counting because I know that one row is 5 because I know 5 and 5 make 10. So one row is 5 and then one more makes 6. So yes, I know that it's the right type of number. I know that it's even. And then I know that it's double 13 because 13 is made up of 10, which is a full frame, and I've got 2 of those, so that's spot on. And then 13 is 10 and 3, and I know that 3 and 3 are 6. So 26 is indeed double 13, and that's how I could prove it. You could have a go at doing your own version. You could find doubles around and about, but you did some great proving and justifying of why you knew that it was. Great job today. Well done. So today in our science session, we are having a look at animals and offspring. So I've got a little game and a little quiz. We'll learn some facts. When it comes to offspring, it's super important to remember that generally in the animal kingdom, the offspring resemble the grown adult version so that they know which one's theirs. I have a little game where we have to find the adult one, the fully grown one, and then the infant ones, the offspring of them. So I'll put the picture up on the screen so that you can see where they are first, and then I'll turn the cards over and I'll go through and you can shout out as loud as you want at me where I should be picking them up. And I'm sure that if I could hear you, I would do a much better job than I'm sure I will do because I'm not so great at these games. But have a little look and see if you can do a better job than me in matching up all of those pairs, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, let's see how many of these I can match. You have seen the picture, so you can shout out, you can help me. Oh, frog and tadpoles. Now, they don't look anything like each other, but they are indeed the offspring, and the tadpoles will turn into a frog one day. Or an elephant. Chicks do not turn into elephants. Oh, there's a hippocalf. Ah, and a dolphin. Ooh, there is a penguin. There's a chick and a penguin. Brilliant. The penguin and the chick do indeed match. We'll leave them turned over. Oh, there's a horse there. What is it that I'm looking for? Aha, a foal. There's the foal. A horse and a foal. They look similar. we can tell that they are the same. Oh, that one's an easy one. We've got a dog. And we need puppies. You're right, we need a puppy, and that was not a puppy. Or a dolphin. And a dolphin calf. Perfect. They look the same. Or a monkey and a polar bear are not a match. Oh, there's that dog again. Oh, but there's these puppies. So we've got a dog and the puppies. The puppies look like the dog and they will grow up into them. Oh, there's a chick. There's the chicks and there's the chicken. They will grow into them. So they come from eggs because they are a bird. Oh, where were they? I can't remember. They're the hatchlings. Where's the tortoise? Oh, there he is. Tortoise and hatchlings. So the elephant, we were looking for the calf, weren't we? Oh, the hippo has a calf too, but not the same type. They look different. Oh, but there's our cat and our kittens. Oh, and the polar bear has cubs. No, that's the elephant calf. Let's see if we can find that elephant again. There we go. There's the elephant. And there is the elephant calf. And then, oh, the monkey. Monkey. Ah, that one's not the infant. There's the hippo and here's the calf. And then the polar bear and the polar bear cubs. And in theory, the infant and the monkey. Awesome. How did you get on with our game? Did you do a better job than me? I'm sure you did. There are some interesting things within that. So there are lots of mammals in that game. Now the mammals are really easy to tell which babies belong to the adult one because they look really, really similar. Mammals give birth to live young, so the puppies will be puppies from the moment they are born. They're the easiest ones to tell the offspring straight away. And then there were some birds in there, and the birds lay eggs. Now, obviously, when the chick is inside the egg, the chicken or the bird, if it's a different bird, will keep it nice and warm and keep it incubated until it hatches. And it's not really until it hatches that they know that it is definitely their offspring. These are definitely chicks and this is definitely a chicken. And that would be the same with birds, with sparrows. They would know that it was a sparrow baby from the moment it was hatched. But it's harder to tell when it's inside the egg. And then there was the amphibious Mr. Frog and his tadpoles. His tadpoles start life as frog spawn and don't look anything like the frog. And then they grow into tadpoles and they don't look anything like the frog. It's not until they get to being a lot older in their life cycle that they do indeed resemble the frog. There aren't many animals where the offspring doesn't look like the mother, but there are a few. The tadpole is a weird one. Okay, let's have a little look at the screen. And I have put some adults and some babies, and let's see whether or not we can match the words to them. So we've got kangaroo, pig, bear, duck, sheep and swan. And the words are piglet, cub, joey, duckling, cygnet and lamb. If you think you need a little bit longer than a few seconds to have a go, then pause the video. If not, I'll give you a little while, have a look and see if you can match up the various different adults and their offsprings. Let's start with the kangaroo. Kangaroo, native to Oceania, Australasia. Joey. The Joey is the baby kangaroo. Now the kangaroo has a pouch at the front where they carry the Joey. So if you look really closely, you'll see a little head just underneath the Joey's arms. And that is indeed baby Joey in the pouch. And baby Joey will develop in there before being ready to come out. So kind of like we talked about the chicks incubating their babies in their eggs, the kangaroo is similar in looking after the Joey in their pouch. So kangaroo, Joey, they link. What about the pig? Yeah, the pig was an easy one. The pig has piglets. Piglets are born in litters, so pig gives birth to lots of piglets, and a mother pig has the right number of teeth for the number of piglets that they will have. That blows my mind, but the animal kingdom is so clever that the pig will know, and its body will prepare milk for all of those piglets, because when they're born they need the milk and the nutrition from their mum, and that's how they get that. They have the right number of teats for the babies that they will have. How fascinating! Which one's next? The bear. Now I chose a polar bear here. There was a polar bear in our game earlier, but it might not be a polar bear. It could be a brown bear and it will be exactly the same. It is indeed a cub, and they're super easy to spot. They were like our dogs and our puppies and our cats and our kittens. They're mammals, give birth to live young, and they look very similar. Now I have an interesting fact for you about the polar bear, and we'll probably come back to this at a later time, but the polar bear, although he has white fur, actually has black skin underneath to help keep them warm, because they live in such cold places. They need a skin that will absorb the heat. Fun fact. Okay, who's next? The duck is next. Absolutely, it's in the name. The duck links to the ducklings. Now the ducklings are birds, so they will be born, they will lay eggs, and mum duck will incubate them, will keep them nice and warm until they're ready to hatch, and then we'll look after them and we'll teach them everything that they need to know, but not until they're ready. Oh, and then the last one, which we should be able to do by process of elimination, but the last one was the swan and the cygnet. Now that is a tricky word. Can you say that? Cygnet. Now, this is the same as the duck in that they lay eggs, but when a cygnet is born, I don't know if you can see them on the river there, but the cygnets are grey and fluffy, and the swan is white and not fluffy. It has really beautiful, smooth feathers. The cygnet is one of those birds that doesn't really resemble its parent in the same way as lots of the others do. It will, and it will grow into a swan, and it will get the white feathers as it gets into adulthood, but as a cygnet, as a baby, it has little grey fluffy feathers. Cygnets are very well protected. Swans are very protective of their young, and so if you ever see them and you see the babies, then observe them from afar, but don't get too close because they don't like it. You did some really great matching there. Well done. We learnt that mammals and birds and amphibians all give birth in different ways. The mammals have live young, the birds lay eggs. Some amphibians lay eggs too. In fact, the tadpoles will have started their lives as eggs. Frog spawn, that's what that is. But despite all of those things, they still resemble the adult version of them. That is the way that the animal kingdom works, so that they can find them and they can be safe. What a clever animal kingdom. Great job today.
Hello Angel students, how are you doing today? My name is Jay. Today I would like to discuss integrity, which is one of my favourite words and ways of being. And if you're not sure what integrity is, or perhaps it could be your first time hearing the word, integrity is basically the quality and strength of your word, how honest you are and can be in any given situation at any time, no matter what is going on around you. When I think of integrity, what I think about is the words being one element of things and actions being another. Without one or the other, you can't actually carry out whatever it is you said you're going to do. With a promise, with a commitment, with your word being given to something, it often means that there is something to do behind that. So, for example, if you've ever said, I'm going to do my chores on this particular day or that particular day or an X amount of times a week, and then you don't actually do them, that's a lack of integrity. Or I'm going to get my homework done way before it needs to be handed in, but you don't actually do it. The main thing to ask there is why. What is the reason? What's stopping you? What's holding you back? What's that about? And, I don't know if you can think of any examples where you may have felt disappointed when somebody said that they're going to do something or help you with something or spend some time with you, but something else comes up which means that they don't or they can't for whatever reason. It is disappointing. So it's always important to look at yourself and what you give your word to and what you say you're going to do and when you say you're going to do it and whether you actually do or not. And this is extremely important because keeping your word to others, of course, is very important. It is extremely important. It has a lot to do with your reputation and how people view you and whether people can trust you because you do what you say you're going to do, because you are somebody that is reliable. So of course, if you're going to be reliable for somebody else and if you're going to keep your word and deliver with what you've said you're going to deliver, with whatever your commitment is to that person, and you do so, it's only right that that is reciprocated and that you too get that back from the other person as you so deserve to. But why it's so important that you maintain your word to yourself, not only to not disappoint others, but primarily, most importantly, so you don't disappoint you. What I mean by that is that it's very easy for us to identify with the feelings and emotions that come with disappointment from outside of ourselves, which could be people, places, could be something in school, it could be at home, it could be anything outside of yourself. But if you make a promise, a commitment to yourself, and you do not follow through, that disappointment may not feel the same, but it has the same damaging consequence as it does when somebody else lets you down, because what you are doing is, in the same way that you lose trust for those that don't keep their word to you, you are losing trust for yourself when you don't keep your word to yourself. We have to maintain that same standard for ourselves, in the same way that we want to be able to trust others and know that they're going to deliver on what they've said. We too have to be able to trust ourselves, to allow others to trust us, to deliver on what we said also. So if you have said anything like, I'm going to clean my room, I'm going to keep it tidy, I'm going to sort out all the laundry for mum, I'm going to put away all the dishes this week when the washing up is done, whatever it is, whatever your thing is, whatever you do, stick to it consistently, no matter what. Don't even let the excuses have a chance to come into your head, and I guarantee you it will boost your confidence, it will boost your self-trust, it will boost your self-esteem, your value, everything, because you've kept your word to yourself. You're not going to let yourself down. Sometimes we may experience conflicting emotions, so we may feel at odds because there's something that we really want to do. We've given our word, even if it's just to ourselves, that we're going to do it, we want to do it, it's important to us, but when it comes to it, that importance just seems to disappear. It seems to not be as strong as when we made the decision, and that is okay. That is absolutely okay, because I'm going to show you how we can get to the root of that and clear all of that up. I have a little exercise that I would love you to try. I'd like you to think about something that you have coming up or something that you have already dealt with that you found yourself making excuses to put off, to do tomorrow. Get something in your mind, have that thought there, remember that time, whatever you need to do. Got it? Yeah. All right. So now I want you to, again, if it was something that's already gone, think of the excuses that you were coming up at the time. If it's something to come, think of all the excuses that you think could come up that would stop you from executing your plan. Feel free to either just have this as like internal talk, dialect, or feel free to write it down. So if it's something that was in the past, what we're going to do is write down the thoughts of excuses that came up at that time. If it's something that's pending that you haven't done yet, but you know you need to do, you're going to do, you would like to do, but there are possible excuses that might come up then, or whilst you're looking honestly at yourself in private, there may be a situation that is ongoing, recurring, could be daily, could be weekly or whatever, and you find yourself coming up with excuses to that on a regular basis. What are they? What are the excuses that you usually use and that ring true to you in that moment? And once you have made your list with integrity, honesty, once you have made your list, doesn't matter how short or long your list is, that's not the aim here. The point is to be able to see if there are any patterns, to be able to see if you have any go-to excuses when it comes to having to finalize, complete anything that you have committed to and given your word to, so we can look at why. So before I close, I want you to remember whilst doing this that you have an incredible amount of power and potential. So all we need to do is tap into it. And one of the ways to tap into it is to look at how you're tapping out of it. Make sense? For the next few weeks, you are going to keep your word at an impeccable standard. You treat others exactly how you would like to be treated. So when anybody says to you with encouraging words that you can do anything, you can be anything, the world is your oyster, it's full of possibilities, you've got options galore, do not take that lightly. That is someone seeing in you magic. Whenever you have to do something, whatever it is, whenever you have to do something, you don't particularly want to do it. Before you even get to a point of being able to have that thought process that, oh gosh, I really don't want to do this, I really can't be bothered, whatever it is, use the 5-second rule. So what is the 5-second rule? The 5-second rule is, let's give you an example. It's time to get up for school. That's too much time. We've thought about it for too long. What we need to do is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Whatever you have to do, whatever task you've got set, it could be homework, as I've mentioned so many times, I'm sorry, just anything. Instead of giving yourself time to come up with excuses, just don't even entertain the possibility of creating not one excuse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And with that said, thank you so much for your time, Angel students, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon.
Hello to all the Angel School students. Today we're going to do the second session. So this session we still work on the breathing, working on the joint exercise. Also today I'm going to teach everybody one Qigong exercise, mainly for your shoulders and neck. When you study a lot, you easily have a shoulder and neck problem. It's part of Kung Fu, but it's much more gentle, okay? Follow me in. Hands up, breathing in, and hands down, breathing out. Relax your shoulders, elbow, hands push all the way down. Feel like you're going to touch the floor. Okay? Now, let's do 2 more breathing exercises. Remember, when you're breathing in, like you're collecting good energy into your body. When you're breathing out, you learn how to release the tension from your body. Okay, last one. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, now we're gonna do same exercise joint. Exercise your joint first, 1 foot wide, heel arm, cross your fingers, and exercise your wrist and ankle same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, change leg, heel arm, Exercise your wrist and ankles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good. Now let's do some exercise for your knee joints. Massage your knee joints. Help your knee circulation. Going down much as you can. And stand up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now let's do the exercise for your hips. 1, especially if you're sitting all the times, very easy to have a hip problem. 2, 3, 4, 5. Change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Keep your elbow arm, hands reach out far as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very good. So this one is good for your shoulders and also for your breathing, yeah? Like open up your lungs. Remember in Kung Fu all about what kind of breathing, yeah? So next is good for your stomach and spleen function. So one hand high as you can, one hand lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. And this time, follow your elbow, look back and breathing up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Now relax your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shoulders down, head up, neck slowly. 1, 2, 3. Change. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this time rolling your shoulders. If you have a shoulder neck problem, this is good for you. 1, full circle, shoulders forward much as you can, up to maximum, going back to maximum, squeeze your shoulder blades together and all the way down. 3, 4, 5. Change. Going back to maximum, up, forward, and all the way down. 1, 2, feel the movement. 3, 4, 5. Good. Relax your back. One hand front of your body, one hand on your back, and breathing out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Early, first session we learned how to do the squats, yeah? So that's building up strength on your leg to make your leg stronger. So now we're gonna practice a slightly different technique, but it's for the knee strike. Like when you put your hands together, keep your knee higher as you can. So when your knee up, it's like imagine your hands is your target, yeah? So you strike towards your hands. So you can do 100 normally, but today we're gonna, because we have a short time, so we're gonna do 30 times, yeah? So knee up And when you right knee up, you turn your body to the right a little bit. When your left knee up, you turn your body to the left. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Higher is better. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. Very good. So that's how you learn how to do knee strike. Of course, when you do it, you can do it. Imagine your hands as your target. Yeah? If you practice by yourself, you can do 50 times. If you're like 5 years old, if you're over 10 years old, you can do 100. Yeah? Okay, now let's practice squats like we did the last time. So lean forward from your hips, go down much as you can, and stand up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Also, last time we did the first Kung Fu stance, Mabu, yeah? So Mabu is about 3.5 foot wide. 1, 2, 3.5. That's how you measure you're doing Kung Fu stance. So you clench your face, breathing in, elbow back, like imagine like you do elbow strike. Yeah? Then bend your knees. Then you stand up. Let's do 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Also, we did marble with the punch. Yeah. So we're gonna do 10 times with the punch. So marble, bend your knees, slowly. For your knuckles, look forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, good. Also, when you know how to do the punching technique, you can selectively use power. Yeah. For example, we're gonna do 2 foot wide. Clench your face. Still the same. Elbow and punch like a bow and arrows. Yeah. So when you're breathing in, you learn to collecting energy into your body, collecting the chi. Yeah. Then you drop your elbow. Then push forward to maximum, elbow back to maximum like a bow and arrows, and follow your knuckles, look forward, and breathing in and breathing out. You can a little bit use power. Let's do 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Inhale and exhale. So the movements are not only for self-defense, of course everybody know Kung Fu for self-defense. Also they're good for your internal, external strength. Yeah, like you learn how to improve your breathing. Yeah, and when you practice, make sure you're breathing in to maximum. When you clench your face, you're breathing out to maximum when you punch. Yeah, so for example, when you're breathing in, it's like good energy. When you're breathing out, it's release the tension from your body. It's like a yin-yang balance, okay? Now let's practice last movement. This one's very good for your shoulder and neck problem. But we are not doing meditation today, so we're going to do 10 times. You cross your fingers like this. So you're breathing in with your hands up and breathing out towards the sky. When you reach maximum, relax your shoulders and keep your fingers straight. Hands going down much as you can. Okay? Cross your fingers, breathing in, breathing out, push through the sky, relax your shoulders and hands down, breathing out. Let's do one more time. Breathing in and breathing out. Relax your shoulders. Good. Last time we did a 5 breathing exercise with sitting, yeah? But now we're going to do exactly same technique but with standing position. So now use 2 foot wide. When you're standing, make sure you're not standing like this, yeah? Make sure your foot points straight. Use your toes, grab the foot, floor, head up, shoulder down, hands front to your belly button. Breathing in, stomach push out. Breathing out. Imagine your belly button touch your back. Breathing in, breathing out. Repeat 3 times by yourself. Okay. Well done, everybody. This is the second session.
Please like and subscribe so you could get more and more lessons.